Hey there, friends. It's Murph. Welcome back to my channel. And today, finally, back recording again. Gonna do something a little different, but the same. Same in that it's the Long Dark. Different in that I'm not playing the game. I thought I'd do a tier list for the Long Dark. I've seen it done with other games. Thought I might try it here. We'll be using the Long Dark locations. And, well, half of them. I have Long Dark East. Everything east of Mystery Lake. It's about split in half that way. The west, you got Mystery Lake plus everything west of Mystery Lake. And, yeah, should be fun. Good way to celebrate the game. It's going to be, not super serious, but still going to try to be as analytical as I can. But, it's some subjective, some objective. Now, first of all, let me give a spoiler warning. If you're one of those people that don't know all the locations, or some of them are still shrouded in mystery, then we all envy you. The rest of us do, and you should not watch, I would say. But I think, you know what? I'm not going to be giving too many directions map-wise. So if you have a pretty good idea of it, it could be a fun thing to do still. So I'm not talking, super already super spoiled. There's a gray zone, but it's up to you. Fair warning. I did want to give a couple caveats too. A lot of these are going to be sort of an amalgamation of factors. Thinking, there's a lot of difficulty settings. It's mostly going to be centered around Interloper and custom settings that are like Interloper. Maybe some Stalkerish, because some locations, if you're in Stalker, it's or if you're in Voyager, they're amazing. And Interloper, not so great. They're bad. So I'm going to be trying to combine those, but it's definitely going to be more of an Interloper slant. Plus criteria. Some locations are just wondrous, but think about the different reasons you like a location. Some are great bases long term. Some are great short term loot stash, hits. Some are just really cool. Some are beautiful. So it's going to be kind of a combination of some objective analysis, but my personal feeling, what I just like about them, and then also, is it good for loot? Is it good? Have a good food source nearby? Accessibility. Where's my sheet here? Accessibility. Yeah, tossed it. Anyway, there's a lot of different factors that I'm going to be trying to combine a little bit of them all in my tiers. And as a player, I don't know all the loot tables. I know I have a good feeling of a lot of them, but I try not to memorize them. That's not the way I want to play. But I have a good sense of where things show up. But I'm also not super experienced. I'm experienced, but I'm not one of these 4,000 hours guys. Just fair warning on that one as well. So I'm happy to get any tips below. And if you agree, disagree, all the better. And I'm happy to learn even more about some of these places and locations. And you know what? Subjectively, how people feel about some of these places, it's the great thing about this game is that your past experiences shape you. So you can be as objective as you can and analyze all the aspects of a location, but one really crummy experience you had, like a shocking death or something, is going to just affect you for the rest of your playthroughs for a place. So that's a great part of the game, and definitely going to be kind of playing a role in this is for myself and for any watchers, for your reaction to my rankings. Okay, let's go ahead and also, this is before Blackrock. I thought it'd be fun to do before the new region came out in survival. It will take some time to know. First of all, I want to experience the new region for fun, and then it'll take some time to know kind of where it would fit in. Analyzing each location in the new region against the others and so forth. Anyway, so kind of wanted to get it in now before the new region hit. Let's get started. We got, first of all, Angler's Den, Ash Canyon. I have it as an A. Really solid. Really solid. Think about, it's got the workbench, a central location down below. There's a lot of predators. So at the bottom region is where all the predators are, where all the wolves are, basically. And it's so dependable. I think it's your place for dependability. You have some rabbits and deer nearby. And you know, it's kind of a high A. Could be S. The Angler's Den is just a really effective, dependable companion. It's a necessity when you go to Ash Canyon. Foreman's Retreat, I also have it as an A. One thing that, well, Angler's Den can be magical, but Foreman's Retreat, I think up there in the Miner's Folly, kind of includes the whole area. There's a bit of magic up there, isn't there? I just think it's a wondrous place. And from there, you can strike out both to the Bitter Marsh and across the rope bridge, kind of in that cool next area. Also, you can hit the rope bridge to go across to some of the other, the Climber's Cave and so forth, too. But you can also go over to the gold mine from there. Love the location of Foreman's Retreat. You can also make a quick exit down. And, in the house itself, you got the bed, you got the fireplace. So it's pretty nice. Gold mine. So gold mine's a bit of a mix for me. I have it together as an A because you get the technical backpack. It's huge. That is big. And, it's a great endpoint for your journey. It's like you made it. A little bit like Timberwolf Mountain and the plain, the summit. Getting to the gold mine's kind of like that. And the loot is nice inside. Technical backpack and the crampons a little bit. But I think what really hurts it is the accessibility is tough. The rope climbs up on one side, 2 or 3 on one side. Getting down there and you have to go down and up again. So that makes it an imperfect place to me, but it's definitely strong. Homesteaders Respite I have as a B. I think it's a cool spot. But if you think about it, it's on that shelf. There's not really a lot of things there. You have to go down the rope. And it's not too hard to go down and up. But the vicinity to the fishing hut is really nice. And from there, it's a quick exit to Timberwolf. I think it's kind of placed well that way. And it's kind of a cool overlook as well. But beyond that, you got a bed and a fireplace too. Yeah, that's another part of the rankings is utilities of each location. What does it have inside, But I put it as a B, personally. We have the abandoned mine, Coastal Highway. Have it as a B. I love its inclusion in the game. Glad it was entered or put in. And I think it's high on the cool factor with the elevator and the roar and the sparking water down below. But it's got a lot of risk. Get caught in, you can really get caught in and die. So it makes it fun, but also not high on the tier as far as it's dangerous that way. Plus, I don't really like its location. It's centered in the map, but it's close to a log sort area, and it's kind of could be, I don't know, it's not too bad. You can kind of strike out from the fishing huts from there. But yeah, it's okay. It's good. It's good. Abandoned Lookout. I have as a C. Now, early in my playthroughs, I would have had this higher. The thing is, I just don't think it's super helpful. There's a wolf that tends to guard it, and which is fine. No, the wolf's not always in your way, but and I know in some of the settings you can find a rifle there. However, the Cinder Hills mine's really close, and that's ideal. Just go to the mine because you got so much coal in there and so much loot, and might as well just stay there. And but the lookout can be helpful at times, but I just don't think it's top tier. It's down there for me. Next up, we have Coastal Town Site. This is kind of a combination of many houses. This one is the one that's kind of close to the shore between Quonset and the shoreline. I have it as an A because I think in Coastal Highway, I don't know why, I ranked some of the other sort of combined community houses. And some of these rankings a little lower. But the coastal highway ones, I just find they're so necessary. I'm just using them all the time, and they're a source of comfort when you go in the region. Get all the toilets, the beds, and it's nice. Like around Quonset. Quonset is obviously one of the best locations in the game, but it's dangerous. It's nice to have these satellite houses around as well. Okay, fishing camp. B, I would have had this higher. No, I know fishing camp area can be a nice long-term base because you got the fishing huts nearby, you got all these pallets. But the houses are crummy, and I think more and more in the game, the predators have gotten closer. Of course, it's cool that it's both cool and dangerous the bear gets so close. But I find the wolf can be annoying there too, obstructed, hard to see at times, and easily jumped. And I always thought it was a great place, and then I always ran into trouble there for some reason, relative to maybe other players' my ability. I don't know why. But I think I'll put it as a B. Not super jazzed, but it's solid. Here's another one that's fallen over time for myself. This is the Jackrabbit Island. I have it as a... What do I have it as? B? It used to be my place. When I came into the Coastal Highway, I would seek out Jackrabbit Island. It was my S or my A. What really hurt it the most, what everybody complains about, is the lack of a fireplace. You got the toilet and the bed in there, but the fireplace not being in there. Yeah, I get by with putting a fire. There's a little rock crevice I put in nearby, but it's a pain not having the fireplace. And get all the rabbits, it's nice, but it's just solid now. It's kind of good in my mind. The wolf that's between it and the fishing camp can sometimes get close. You can sometimes get in danger there, but it's okay. It's good. It's good. I still love it though. I still love it. You know what? I think it's hard to beat the ambiance of making a fire. There's a rock on the other side of this that I used to make a fire. Now I just do it in the porch area, like a lot of people do, and that's classic Jackrabbit. Have a rabbit dinner in that porch area, but still, it's a B for me. Okay, this is one of the few Ds. This is the log sort or the dog sort trailer. Not only is there dogs out in the water around those logs, sometimes there's one that's right in this area that can be kind of a pain in the butt. The silver lining for the log sort, I think, is one of my favorite carcasses in the game. Not on this road that runs alongside it, but the road that starts to go up the hill from it. There's a carcass kind of off the road in sort of this little pit. I think it's one of the best carcass meal spots in the game. But I'm not using the rating for that. I'm using it just for this trailer and in the very close area nearby. It's awful. Okay. I just skip it usually. This is, does anyone know what the name of this place is? It's the two little houses with rabbits at the bottom of the rope from the abandoned lookout. The bottom of the rope huts is basically what I had them on as here. It's a C to me. They can be helpful, but get the rabbits, but bland. Bland to me. Misanthropes. This is a fun one to rate. If I can find it. I have it as an A for one special reason. I think it's kind of a B, but I put it as an A because, well, you have some danger. I think the wolf around Misanthropes is underrated. It can be really sneaky. And of course, it's fun, but dangerous to have the bear nearby. It's not really that big a deal to have the bear nearby. I like the access to the fishing huts that Misanthropes gives, but I think the classic scenario is coming in from Desolation, just beat up to hell. You're just barely making it. Go to Misanthropes. Get that tea that's sitting in there. Drink it down. That's such an archetypal experience in the Long Dark that I think it pushes it up to an A. Can't beat that. Quonset, first S. Now I avoided Quonset when I played for a long time because of the wolves. It was dangerous, but I think the wolves. Here's the thing about the wolves: they're both a bad thing and a good thing. When you're ready to go, you shoot the wolves, you can get some you get the hides and the meat. So that can be helpful. But I think the sort of constellation of wolves that surrounded Quonset kind of add a cool factor to it as well. But within, you have so many tools. You just have a bounty in there. It's just an awesome place. And the fact that it's a kind of a cool gas station. It's an iconic location in the game. Rabbit Grove. Now I had this as S, but because I just love the Rabbit Grove, I think I'm gonna put it as A. I have to let my objectivity come in a little bit. I do think it's strong. I think the loot used to be a little better with it. I think it's gone down a little bit, but it's such a cool little house, so tiny, cut into the hillside there, and from that you jump off into the ravine so easily, that trip up the creek. In the creek itself, the Rosen Creek, Bear Creek, there is some coal, usually cattails. There's some rabbits nearby. The bear will venture around. It's just often blizzards when you get there, or the aurora hits. I think it's just a special location. Train unloading is the next one. I have it as a C. It's kind of a D location, but and I didn't get all the locations. Obviously, I missed a couple of trailers in Coastal Highway. But for this one, I think you always hit it kind of coming in from the ravine. So it has that location strength, and from it you can kind of venture down the hill. That's really all that it has going for it. Sometimes you can get some coal nearby. But location for that one. But otherwise, kind of a dud. Can't really find any. Maybe a pair of jeans inside. Waterfront Cottages, I also have as a C. They're burned out in the higher settings, but in the lower settings, custom settings, so forth, there's a house or two there. There's some rabbits. You actually can be kind of nice. This is my personal, kind of colored by my personal feelings as well. I find it dangerous. I just get, you know what? You have a deer coming, you have a wolf in there, you have a bear coming by, and you have rabbits. It's like a wildlife stew right there, and it all comes to a point. It's like where the hurricane all hits, and it can be just kind of, that can make it wild, but also very unpredictable. So I put it as a C there. Next one is Hibernia. We're moving on to Desolation Point. Hibernia is great, isn't it? I have it as an A. Yeah. So obviously, it has a ton of value because there's a lot of loot in there. You need your matches in there when you're starting a Desolation Point. You got the big whale bones in the yard. It's pretty awesome. It can be kind of dangerous with the bear there. You can just get jumped. There's a wolf on the other side that can get you. But it's pretty iconic, and there's a lot of great things about being inside there. A lot of great game starts there too. But I think when you put it all together, I have it as an A. Lonely Lighthouse, I have as a B. Now, there's a shortcut to get up to it, so let's just get that out of the way. But besides that, you have to go up a tricky little intersection that can be kind of guarded by a wolf. And it obviously has a ton of cool factor with it being the lighthouse. Aurora comes out, it's lighting things up. It's really awesome. But inside, there's a stem in there, right? So maybe that's pretty valuable. But maybe I'm rating it too low. But I'm trying to balance a little bit, slightly. But I don't think you don't find that great of stuff inside usually, besides that. It's not really a game changer for me when I'm going there. I keep seeing this recommended video about Long Dark locations, and it's on the front, but it's nowhere near my front. I think it's on the thumbnail. Riken, I have this as an S because having a ship is just awesome. You got the forge in there, as well. And not just that, I like being in a spot where you can stay. You have a lot of vantage points, got a lot of space. It's helpful. Little islands nearby for hunting and fishing, or not fishing, but hunting. And It's just awesome. So it's of course it's on the Long Dark poster. I mean, it's not, but if you made a poster of locations, the Riken should be on. That's one of the images on there for sure. Next up, we have Stone Church. I have as B. I think it's high in the cool factor, but one thing I didn't talk about yet is temperature. Some of these places are so helpful because you're guaranteed temp, right? Stone Church, you're not, obviously. It's not closed in. It's not a load screen. So it should actually be kind of a C, but I have it pushed up as a B only because of it's kind of a special place. There's the rabbits are kind of close to the exit, and it's just a lot of great Long Dark experiences happen there, kind of around the Stone Church. Wolves are kind of close, but they're not always real close. They're pretty close, but not real close, and makes for interesting times. You got the mines close to it as well. What is this? Oh, this is Harris Basement. It is. I kind of want to put it as a C. If you relativize it against the Crumbling Highway, it's like a B because you need it to get through there. It's so important. It's so nice. But if you put it with Crumbling Highway itself, you put it as a D, which I'm going to do. I'm going to sort of use it as a representation of Crumbling Highway, which is an awful place. And therefore, sorry, Harris Basement. You get lumped in there. You're in the awful place. And we don't want to linger where you are. We want to just keep going. Okay, Abandoned Prepper's Cache in Pleasant Valley. So it's really cool, you know, because that's the only prepper cache you get in the game on the Interloper. I have it as a B though. The loot's not always great. It's really not. And I mean, you got the waterfall nearby, which is helpful. But the cache, this location is important because you're using it as a jumping off point. But the loot isn't great. Not a place you really want to stay at. It's very an in-between. It's a vagrant spot for sure. It's definitely not a prepper cache anymore. Draft Dodger's Cabin. I like this picture because there's a bunny right in front of it. There's some bunnies at Draft Dodgers. I have it as a C because, you know, you don't stay there too much. You get the bunnies kind of in between. It's really, there's a lot of land, you know, walking before and after, usually before there. So it's really important place to get to. So it's good on that level as far as location, but the loot's not really that great, and it's not a place you want to linger with at too long. Outbuildings Barn. A. It's a cool place. The place you sleep in the truck inside. You can often get some nice tools around there. And there's a wolf nearby that can give you trouble, but also some deer too. So it's a really cool spot in the field there. And, you know, it has a target for target practice in the back. Pleasant Valley Farmstead. Kind of wanted to put this high. I put it as an A as well. It's the spot in Pleasant Valley, really, you know. You're going to the farmstead to survive. And it can keep you going for a while. The basement's huge where you get your matches. And it's a place to stay. But it's not a super location, you know. It's not a the next one I think is better that I'm going to do. But the farmstead is an essential part of life in Pleasant Valley, and it's always going to be, you know, you can put, even though it's an A, you can put the farmstead on the poster. Signal Hill, though, is an S because it's such a bounty. There's things inside. It's a cool location up there on the point, and the loot is so great inside, and you always want to go to Signal Hill. Signal Hill bounty it is bountiful. The bear lingers nearby sometimes, and from here, you're going to Mr. Lake, or going down to the farmstead if you're coming the other direction. It's huge. It's got a huge role to play in the Long Dark location ecosystem. Almost done here. 3 left. We have the Skeeter's Ridge. I have as a B. It's not that great. 2 more locations left. 2 more locations left. Now this is another one that's kind of a collection. It is Thompson's Crossing. Here's the picture of the community hall. Here's the thing about Thompson's Crossing. It's kind of an A spot for sure. You know, you got the beds, you got the fireplaces around different houses, I think. Yeah, and the Thompson's Crossing for one. I have it as a B. I just haven't taken to it really. It doesn't have, I think it's cool, so I'm not blaming. I think it's a great idea to put in there. There's just something, it just doesn't quite have the soul yet for me. It's missing a little bit of soul. I played episode 3 as well too. I liked episode 3. I had fun. And I liked the Thompson's Crossing element, bringing the survivors there. But when I play survival mode, it's just like, it's a task to complete. It's going to be like that for Milton. When I have to loot the town, you get a lot of good stuff, but it's kind of an annoying part of the game to me. So it's kind of like A that I put as a B for myself. But I think it's kind of A-ish. Last but not least is the Mountaineer's Hut for Timberwolf Mountain. It's not the least for sure. The Mountaineer's Hut doesn't get much better than that. If you could pick any spot to just retire to, I think I might pick the Mountaineer's Hut. It's just the lake, the fishing hut. It is. If there's a long dock poster, it could be, if you chose one location, it could be the one, you know. It's an awesome spot, and we all love it. And there's the list. 4 here. What we got? Quonset, Riken, Signal Hill, and Mountaineer's Hut. Here are the area locations. The B's and the C's, and let's limit the D's. Sorry, log sort. All right, well, I'll do one more video with the West locations. Then I'll hopefully start getting some more long dark gameplay in. Thank you so much. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching and taking part in this little exercise that I did. And yeah, feel free to comment below on what I screwed up, or things that you think or things you agree with, or different experiences or observations you have about some of these spots. Thank you so much.